For real, you're muted. All right, let's get this to full screen and let's get this party started. That was a good way to end. I like that. I think I've told you guys in the past that some of the women that I used to race with in the good old days of when we didn't have chamois creams, you used Noxema, and of course Noxema, the same thing, is it has that little bit of a menthol quality to it. So get a little bit of that in the wrong place, and woo, talk about woo-ha. That's a serious woo-ha going on there. So lots of products out there. Just got to find the one that actually works for you. The thing that I want you to kind of shy away from are products like, somebody says, oh, just use Vaseline. Well, the chamois creams that are made for chamois cream purposes actually have a level of, when you have two pieces rubbing together, it's going to evaporate or dissolve over time. And these products are built to actually withstand that friction. So if you're using Vaseline, not so much. It's not going to give you the same kind of qualities that you would in a product that's actually developed for the purposes of using it as a chamois cream. So make sure you're using the right stuff. For those of you that are triathletes, some people used to say, spray Pam on your body so that you can get your wetsuit on. Well, if you spray Pam on your body before you put your wetsuit on, you are going to ruin your wetsuit. So stay away from that stuff. They actually do make a spray that helps you to get a wetsuit on, and it works really well. All right, so what's tonight gonna be? Tonight is gonna be strictly get your heart rate monitor, get your power meter, get your rate of perceived exertion, whatever you want to use. We are doing this whole workout strictly as an endurance workout. So we're looking at zone 3 for the entire time. Now here's going to be kind of the cool thing about the workout is you're going to have a lot of free reign with gearing, because I want you to start to know what gears work to help you hold a certain cadence and put yourself in the right energy system or zone so that you're working efficiently. I mentioned in my email too, this workout, you're probably going to sweat a lot. So have your towel ready. Make sure you have that full water bottle on your bike. Your fan is either on or you have a remote to be able to turn that on, because that fan is going to be key to just getting you through this. So we're going to just do our normal 5-minute warm up, get our bodies going. And then we're going to walk kind of through an interesting ladder. All it's going to be is small ring, big ring. You're going to hold a certain duration at a 90 cadence, and you're going to hold at your endurance zone. So what I want you to remember is, if for any reason you start feeling that burning sensation in the legs, like you do when you get to the zone 4, then you're going too hard. Back it down. It's okay to feel comfortable in this workout tonight. That's the main goal of this workout, is so that you don't finish this workout and feel trashed and feel like you did a zone 5 workout. That's not what it's supposed to be. So we're going to build some good endurance tonight. So right now, you should be in an easy gear, just spinning the legs. In 30 seconds, we're going to do a 5-minute effort. You don't have to go to the gear yet, but you're going to go big ring 15. We're going to do 30 seconds of standing, 30 seconds of seated. just to get our legs warmed up. I hope everybody felt good from that Tuesday workout if you did it. I have to admit, I was like, wow, this workout's over already. It went super fast. And I have to admit, I like that one. I felt really good on Tuesday. All right, so big ring, left hand. Get you up into your big ring. Find your 15. So remember, you're going to shift down until you see 3 gears under your chain. Or if you want to go from the bottom up, you'll shift it up 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Stand it up. In your hoods, straight up. Get yourself, just to get a little bit of that heart rate going. Start the sweating process. Get the legs warmed up. We got a good group tonight. 25 people. That's what I love. Sitting back down. Staying in this gear. You're not shifting. Don't rotate your hips. Nobody's doing this. Nice and solid in the saddle. Feeling the legs working. This will hopefully be the hardest part of the night. 3, 2, stand it up. Find that little saddle. Touching between your legs. Hips are over your ankles. Nobody's feet are dropping to the bottom. The legs are doing all the work. 3, 2, sitting back down. Everybody's getting better at standing up. Getting stronger with every workout. Feeling like you're starting to feel a difference in your fitness. 3, 2, 1. Stand it up. Settle into a good pedal stroke. It feels comfortable to you. If you feel weight on your hands, move your hips back. And let your upper body stay relaxed. 3, 2, sitting back down. Coming up to the 3rd minute. 2 more standing efforts. Nice solid pedal stroke. Back in your hoods. 3, 2, stand it up. Just a good 30 seconds. I'm sure the body's starting to sweat now. That's the perfect reaction we want. Heart rate working up a little. 3, 2, sitting down. Only 1 more standing effort. So I'm to come up with a lot of stories for tonight. Almost at 4 minutes. Back in those hoods. 3, 2, 1, stand it up. Last time for this. If you increase your cadence, you'll get even more warmed up. 3, 2, 1. Sit down. 30 more seconds. Stay steady with it. You know my favorite word, consistency. Three, 2, small ring. Small ring and up to your 20, 28, 25, whatever you got. All right. Short break here in between. Take a drink. Spin your legs nice and easy. Whatever feels right to you. All right, so a little more in depth. This is going to be a ladder. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Back down the ladder. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. So what does that mean? Each one of those, the first minute or 2 or 3 or 4, is going to be in your small ring. You're picking the gear. All I ask of you is to be in zone 3 at a 90 cadence. Then after that minute, we're going to shift to your big ring, and you're going to do the same thing. Pick the gear you like that holds you in zone 3 and keeps you at 90. Then we'll take a minute rest. Then we'll go to 2 minutes small ring, 2 minutes big ring. We're going to just keep going up that ladder, back down the backside, and then we'll be done. So first one, you might figure it out in the first one. It might change along the way, that's fine. Small ring, find the gear that you think you'll hold zone 3, either power, heart rate. If you don't have either, you're looking at about a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 1 minute. It might take you a little bit while, those of you that are using heart rate, might take you a little bit to get you to the heart rate you're looking for. But once you find it, settle in, hold that cadence at 90. If you're holding 90 to 95, that's okay too. I don't want you going any lower than 85. So really work on dialing it in. Here's something to think about. Whatever gear you're in right now, when we shift to our big ring, if you shift to 2 easier gears from there, you might be in the perfect gear to stay in that right cadence. 3, 2, 1, big ring. Maybe shift 2 easier gears. Right back to 90. 1 more minute. This is where it gets hard to dial it in. For those of you that have power, that big ring is going to generate a little bit more power, maybe 10 to 20 watts more. So figure it out. This is all a learning process. You're learning your gears. You're learning what you can sustain and what you can hold for the time frames we're asking. Three, 2, back to that small ring. Easy gear, take a drink. First 2 minutes down. Now we're going to move after that minute break into two 2-minute efforts. First one, small ring, zone 3 cadence 90. Second 2 minutes, big ring, zone 3. cadence 90. Of course, as you can tell, this is going to kind of wear you down maybe, or you might be solidly in. So you set kind of a bar for yourself in that first effort. See if you can hold the same wattages, cadences, heart rates, those metrics that we're looking for. All right, small ring. Find that gear. 3, 2, 1. We're looking for 90 cadence. Zone 3. Get it dialed in. Once you do the first 2 of these, and you probably will be settling right in to where you want it. You'll have the gears down. You'll have the cadences down. So yesterday, Randy and I went snowshoeing. Man, was that a workout. I can tell my hips and the sides of my glutes, because the snow is so deep that when you would put your snowshoe in, of course you sink down. You don't sink all the way to the ground. You probably sink down about 6 inches. And then you have to pull your foot out, just exactly like you do here on the bike, in that pulling motion, to put your foot down for the next step. And of course, when we do snowshoeing, we never go anywhere where the trails are cut. We definitely blaze our own trail. So right from the start, we were in the deep stuff, trying to figure it out. At one point, I stuck my foot in, and the snow went all the way up to my knee. So it was pretty interesting, just trying to make it work. So we're hiking along. We were in Ramapo Reservation, for those of you that know it. And since Randy knows the trail so well, we don't even follow a trail. We just go wherever we want. Finding your big ring, maybe 2 easier gears, sticking to that 90. 2 more minutes. Here's where the endurance part starts to come in. Dialing it in, holding that heart rate where we want it, or power. If your legs are burning, you're going too hard. So in Ramapo, there's a couple of overlooks. And every overlook that we got to, we were definitely the first people for that view. There's a great view of the city from up there. And so we kind of hike up to this high section. I was in front of Randy. We kind of take turns cutting the trail. And I look down into the valley, probably about, I don't know, 100 yards away. I could see this red fox, super healthy, trying to make his way through the snow. The poor little guy, he was maybe 35, maybe 30 pounds. He was having the hardest time climbing up the mountain on the other side. And finally he got to the top and we couldn't see him anymore. But how cool to see his red coat just contrasting with all that white snow. It was very cool. Almost done. 3, 2, 1. Get a little rest. Small ring, easy gear, 1 minute easy. Woo! 2 minutes down, 4 minutes down. Now you can do the math. On to 6. 3 minutes in small ring, 3 minutes in big ring.
Hey, Mara, quick question.
Yes.
If you find that you can't hold the cadence and you're going into zone 4, do you drop your gear?
Yes, so make your gear easier and maybe bring your cadence down to 85.
Okay.
If that heart rate's getting too high, you're welcome. So you gotta, that's where sometimes the gear just might be a little bit too much. You might need to just get the gear to be a little easier. And here's what might happen over time. You might start at 85 and eventually you might be able to get it to 90. All right, here we go. Small ring, find that gear again. 3 minutes, zone 3, heart rate power, rate of perceived exertion, 90 cadence. So we know, obviously, guys, that when your cadence is a little higher, then your heart rate goes up. So this is also helping you develop that cadence and a consistent cadence at kind of an easier output. So as we kept on hiking or snowshoeing, if you haven't snowshoed in the snow, you might not know this, but the deer, for some reason, they all seem to kind of gather together and hang out together. So we typically, when we snowshoe, come upon these sections of the trail where there will be 10 deer, and you can tell that they've been laying down because all the snow is matted down. And we came to this one section where all these kind of vines were intertwined with each other. It almost looked like a little hut. And under that little hut, about 6 deer came out of there. So they know how to find the good resting places. And then we saw a huge, I don't know, what's a group of deer called? A herd? Not sure. Give me the answer at the end. We saw probably 20 deer, just one after the other, coming out of the woods. It was pretty cool. And they always seem to run away and then stop and turn around and look at you. Like, yeah, we see you. And then you get closer to them. They run away, stop, turn around, look at you again. So it's kind of funny to play the deer game. All right, you're holding that zone 3, I hope. Your cadence is at 90. If you can hold your cadence at 95 and hold that same effort level without your legs burning, that's okay, but don't go any higher than that. We want the legs to spin, but we want the effort to be as moderate as possible. And I'm seeing some people already starting to use their towels. Finding your big ring, maybe 2 easier gears. Time to dial it in again. 90 cadence, zone 3, 3 minutes here. The other really cool thing about snowshoeing, when you're going in sections where nobody else has ever been, you can see a lot of tracking. So you can track, so we saw rabbit tracks. You know it's a rabbit because it's like 2 long, their back legs kind of hit the ground, and then they jump up from there. So they just leave this 2 slashed mark in the snow. And then we probably saw a chipmunk or some small creature, because there were just all these little things, these little feet going all kinds of crazy directions. Of course, we were wondering, all those deer, what are they eating? What are they thinking? They're like, oh no, all this snow. So in 2 hours, yes, in 2 hours, we went 2.9 miles. That tells you how slow we were going. It's pretty incredible. And we really didn't stop much. A couple of times to take some pictures. And that was it. You got 1 more minute here. Now's where you start really noticing if you're in the right zone or not. Now, I don't want you to cheat yourself out and be sitting in zone 2. Make yourself get in this really good zone. You're going to develop a lot of endurance here. "20 more seconds, then you get a rest and a water break. Three, 2, 1. Small ring, easy gear, 1 minute, take a drink. All right, this is going to be the longest set of all of these. Now, hopefully you're noticing, those of you using heart rate, what's happening to your heart rate during this minute of rest. Are you dropping down into zone 2? Is it staying at the bottom of zone 3? Really start to pay attention to that, because that matters more than what your maximum heart rate is. We want to work on our recovery being the basis for knowing our fitness. So we're going to dial right back into it. 4 minutes in small ring, 4 minutes in big ring, 90 cadence, find that gear, right back to it. 3, 2, 1, 90 cadence, small ring. Now you should know, you should have seen a number in the last couple of efforts, and you should know what heart rate you're looking for, what power you're looking for, what it felt like, if you don't have either of those, to sit at your RPE of 7, rate of perceived exertion. So the other day, last weekend, I decided I was going to clean out this little cabinet that I had in my bedroom, in our bedroom. And I knew there was a bunch of old race stuff in there. So it was kind of fun to just sit there for, I think it was probably 3 hours, deciding what stuff I wanted and what stuff I wanted to throw away. So I'm going to start pulling out to show you guys some old articles, pictures, newspaper clippings, all kinds of fun stuff that I found in that cabinet. So one thing that doesn't pertain to me, and I'm not sure if you guys have heard this story ever. I don't think we were married yet, but this is actually a story about Randy. We were planning to go on a trip across Virginia. It was a week-long trip, and it was a tour, so every day you had a certain distance you had to complete. and you camped every night, typically in the football field of a high school, or sometimes we stayed at colleges, which was really nice. So literally, about maybe 2 weeks before we were about to go, Randy and his airline friends decided they were going to go play basketball. None of them know how to play basketball. Well, he comes back from playing basketball and he says, I stepped on Stu's foot. My ankle really seems to be hurting. I said, well, maybe we should go have it x-rayed. So we went. Lo and behold, he broke his ankle. We're like, great. How are we gonna do this trip now? I don't think we're gonna be able to go on the trip. So somebody had given us the name of a doctor, an orthopedic surgeon, who was a cyclist. So we said, well, we got to go to this guy for sure. And I said, I have an idea. I said, maybe if he puts a cast on your leg, we could put a piece of wood on the bottom of your cast, and we could attach your cleat to the piece of wood. Oh, great idea. Let's see what he thinks. So we go to the appointment. He was the coolest doctor ever. And of course he was like, yeah, let's do that. We're coming up on our 4 minutes. Find your big ring. Maybe 2 easier gears. Dialing right back into that 90. And right to that cadence. And power, heart rate, or RPE that keeps you in your zone 3. So he says, okay, well, go get me some wood. I'm going to need a saw so we can cut it and come back. So we go get all the necessary lumber. We come back to the office. He's in the office going, and Randy's like, ah. So maybe other patients were thinking that the doctor was cutting his leg off. So he cut this piece of wood. He put it on the bottom of his cast. We checked it out to see if it would work. We didn't want it to be too high, because then he'd have 1 foot higher than the other. Made it pretty shallow. We got home, stuck a cleat on it, and it worked. The only bummer part was he couldn't clip out on his own, because obviously when you clip out, that's the motion that your foot has to do. And with the cast, he couldn't do that. So anytime we stopped, I had to physically go over to him, grab the cast, and clip him out of the pedal. So there was a lot of work for me. So what did we decide to do on the trip? You have 2 more minutes. Holding this zone. We decided, what the heck, let's do it. We got this made. I think you can make it happen. So we get there. Who do you think's doing all the work now? Moi. I'm carrying the bags. I'm putting up the tent. I'm doing everything while he's sitting there with his foot up in the air. And lo and behold, the local newspaper finds out about this and comes and does an article about him. You wouldn't believe this guy from Virginia. He has a cast, but he's still riding the tour. All kinds of fame And here's me over here. But we had an awesome trip. It was so fun. I'm so glad we were able to do it. We met some super cool people. And if you haven't ever ridden in Virginia, it's a really nice place to ride, especially Shenandoah National Park, or down the Skyline Drive, which is, I don't know how many miles long, but it's lots of fun down there. Coming up on the finish of 8. Three, 2, 1. Nice and easy to that small ring. Taking a drink. Now we are going back down that ladder. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Enjoy the rest. And as you can tell, I'm in the right zone because I'm talking to you. And talking to you in almost full sentences, not having to stop like that. That means I'm in the right zone. All right, so again, same thing. Small ring for 3, big ring for 3, 90 cadence, zone 3. Go ahead, find your small ring. 3, 2, 1. Get it back going. And dial it back in. I do have to admit, though, we did do a tour once, or a ride that was called the Peanut Ride. So in Southern Virginia, there's a lot of peanut farms. So they used to do this ride where you just rode through the orchards or farms, the peanut farms of Virginia. Well, I have to admit, that had to have been the most boring ride you've ever been on. Peanuts, they only grow about this high, and you just see green fields everywhere. Not so much anything else. And the funnier part was the jerseys were yellow with this green lettering. I wish I would have kept it. And it was made out of that material kind of back in the 90s that was real stretchy. So when you wore it, you had anything in your back pocket, it would hang down way past your saddle. So it was impossible to put anything in those pockets. It had to have been the worst jersey ever. It would have won the ugly jersey contest, for sure, if I still had it. Peanuts were good. They had peanuts at every rest stop. Peanut butter, peanut everything, brittle, cakes. I don't think they had peanut pie. I don't think anybody's ever, well, chocolate peanut pie, peanut butter pie. You're 2 minutes down. It's nice to get into a workout like this where you can feel like you're not having to kill yourself to gain something from it. Now is when you start losing your form. So start thinking about those things we always talk about. That bend in the elbows, the relaxed shoulders, that straight back, tall in your torso. Nobody's rounding their shoulders. Coming up on the big ring. 3, 2, 1. Big ring. Now it should be automatic. A quick change right to the same gear that you've been for the previous efforts. So in terms of tours that Randy and I have done, we've done Maryland a number of times, Virginia a number of times, Pennsylvania. I'm just going to go across the United States. Maybe not. Let's see. We've done Massachusetts, well, New York to Massachusetts. We've done parts of upstate a number of times. And these are all multi-day tours, anywhere from 6 days to 8 days. The Midwest, we haven't done a lot there. We've done Colorado 3 times. The northern part, the central part, the southern part. We've done Montana, Wyoming, Oregon, probably one of the best places to ride. Unbelievable in Oregon. The most amazing scenery. So if you ever get a chance to do Oregon, that's a really awesome trip. Starting to think about trips, obviously. Hopefully, we can make that happen soon. The nice part about those trips are, I think Oregon was probably the one that was the coolest in terms of its setup. Every day at lunch, they had what was called picnic. And at picnic, it was a rest stop at a scenic, very scenic place. And they had everything from soup to baked goods, sandwiches. You actually could go on one of these bike trips and gain weight. 3, 2, 1. Done with 3. Drop my chain. Let's see if I can get it back up by being very patient with it. Keep yourself moving. So how do you do that if you drop your chain? If you shift to your small ring, let your front derailleur drop down, and then you can pick up the chain onto your big ring as you shift to the big ring. And of course, it's not doing it for me this time. Let me see if I can just get it to go without having to get off. All right, you got 30 more seconds. If you get off, the one finger, take the chain from the bottom, put it on the bottom of the chain, the small ring, pedal it backwards. Chain's on. All you did was mess up one finger. No need to get your hands all messy and all crazy. And if you shift down to the right gear, it'll go on there nice and smoothly. All right, here we go. We are up to 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Find that small ring and the gear you like. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Dial it right back in. 90 cadence, zone 3. Take a drink if you haven't taken one. Should almost be done with your water at this point. So So the bad part about picnic for Oregon was it was like there was a vortex that was holding you in. And every day you'd look forward to picnic because everybody was congregating there. And then you still had like 50 miles to go. So we told ourselves, we can't really enjoy picnic that much. We got to get in and get out. But I have to admit, on the last day, we rode really hard to picnic so that we could sit there until practically the last person. And then we hammered it back. It was a good way to finish. Take it all in for that last time. And Oregon was a smaller group. So we've been in groups like Colorado, where you're talking about 2,000-3,000 people. Oregon, I think maybe we had 30. So it was nice. Those of you that know RAGBRAI, which is the Ride Across Iowa, they could have as much as 10,000 people. Find that big ring, ease your gear, keeping it right in that right zone. Dial it in. It's nice to start feeling like you know where to go just by feel and not looking at your computer to see if you're there. So Randy's family lived in Iowa, and when his mother was alive, she would say to us, come on, come out and do RAGBRAI. We were like, nope, not dealing with 10,000 people. It's just a sea of riders. I have an athlete who has actually done it like 6 or 7 times now. And somebody told him, there's no way you'll be able to get lost. All you do is follow the people. So he was fortunate enough to never get lost. 30 more seconds here. This is working out just perfectly. I feel good. I hope you feel just as good. Now, don't let yourself slouch in these last couple. Get that nice, even pedal stroke. 3, 2, 1. Small ring. Nice, easy gear. On to page 2. We got 1 and 1 left to go. You should almost be done with your water. Somebody told me they were going to go ride their bikes this weekend for a club ride. And after going somewhere this afternoon, coming back, wow, lots of melting going on out there. So if you're somebody that's going to do that and go ride over the weekend, make sure when you get home, you are cleaning your bike. You're going to have a lot of salt on the roads. That salt gets on your frame, can definitely do damage. All right, small ring. Find that gear. 3, 2, 1. Super important when you get home, if you do ride outside, to wipe off everything, tires, rims, frame, clean your chain. because that salt is not a friend of our bikes. And even if you're going out, if you have a mountain bike or a gravel bike, take that instead of taking your carbon fiber bike. If you have multiple bikes, that way it'll be a little wider tire, a little easier to manage, but the roads are really skinny from all the snow on the sides. So you got to be extra careful. Big ring. 1 or 2 easier gears. Right back to that 90. Wow, this was a good one. Now, if you're going to download your data and you want to look at your information, look at your average heart rate and look for, it might tell you 20 minutes or 40 minutes. For the longest period you can find, see what your average heart rate was. If you did this right, it will be right in your zone 3. We only really did probably 2.5 minutes worth of zone 4 work. So it won't have that much of an impact. 3, 2, 1. Small ring, easy gear. All right, go ahead and spin this out for a minute. And then we'll do some quick legs and be done for the night. Woo! I was really looking forward to this workout tonight. These are ones that you can enjoy because you don't feel like your tongue's hanging on the ground. Get in some good cadence work, some good patience, and working with that information that you have. Just as a reminder, anybody that's here that wasn't available for the maximum heart rate test, if you go to the YouTube channel, Mara Miller, Double Star Coaching, there's a video of the max heart rate test day. So if you do the test on your own and you send me the max heart rate number, meaning what's the highest heart rate that you see, if you send that to me, then I'll create the zones for you. So use that video if you're planning. If you're using power, you're better off doing a 20-minute FTP test. That's going to give you the correct information for power. A maximum power, you can use it for some purposes, but not best for purposes of creating zones. So if you do a 20-minute test, what you're looking for is the average power for that 20 minutes. And if you send that number to me, I'll give you your zones for power. So lots of good information out there to use. More metrics helps us, as you know, especially in these. All right, stay in that easy gear. Let's dial this up to about 100. Make it feel light, but really feel your torso get tall and almost pull your chest up and straighten your arms, but don't straighten them from the bending part. You're almost straightening, pulling your shoulders, but keeping that little bend in the elbows, if that makes any sense. So you're getting tall without straightening your arms. That's really what I'm trying to say. Keep it at 100. Keep it light. Just want to get a little bit of speed back into the legs. Randy decided he was going to stop at Trader Joe's in Paramus. Bring that cadence down to 95. He said it was a complete madhouse. there because there's no place to park the cars because of all the snow. And Paramus is such a popular Trader Joe's that you can never get in that place. He said there was a line of about 25 people outside. I think if I were him, I would have just turned around and left. But he figured, well, I'm here, I might as well go in. Right at 95. You can follow my legs if you don't have cadence. Hopefully you were doing that during the workout. I didn't really mention that. All right, bring it down to 85. Nice, comfortable 85. You might feel like, oh man, 85 is so slow now. So here's the key to this too. Since you did, let's see, 4, 7, 13, 21, 27, like 33 minutes worth of work. And you did all of that at a 90 cadence. What'd you just do? You just developed your leg speed and your ability to hold a 90 cadence. That's what we were looking for. That's why we do those workouts like that. All right, we're coming up to the end. Make sure you have your water bottle finished. I'm going to stop my watches, get off. And that was a full hour workout. For some of you, it might have been more than an hour because I saw a few of you had logged in prior to. Great job, everybody. Really good job. And everybody stuck with it. Look at that. Whew.